All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, like trying to climb a mountain in the fog. Learning system design. It's complicated, it's technical, and honestly, just getting started can feel pretty overwhelming. But what if I told you the key to mastering it is probably hiding in plain sight, in the one thing you've been staring at this whole time, your study guide? Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You crack open your study materials and bam, it's just a wall of acronyms, jargon, and these super complex diagrams that look like a spider web. And you're sitting there thinking, how am I supposed to make sense of any of this? Trust me, you are not alone. That's pretty much where everyone starts.
But here is the secret, the big aha moment. The problem isn't the material. In fact, the material itself is the solution. You see, a really good study guide isn't just a random collection of facts. It's actually a carefully structured system designed to help you learn. You just have to know how to unlock it.
I mean, really think about what you've got. You have the guide itself. That's your list of questions, your learning goals. You've got the main text. Those are the deep dive explanations. You've got a glossary. That's your personal dictionary for all the new terms. And then there's the quiz and the answer key, a built-in tool to test yourself and get instant feedback. It's a whole learning system just waiting for you. So today, let's learn how to actually use it.
Okay, first things first, we have to stop trying to understand everything all at once. It's just not going to work. We need to build a solid foundation brick by brick. And that means taking these big, scary-sounding concepts and breaking them down into simple, clear definitions.
Let's take a term like object relational mapping, or ORM. It sounds super complicated, right? But forget the name for a second and just think of it as a bridge. That's it. It's a bridge that connects two different worlds, the world of databases, which thinks in tables, and the world of programming languages, which thinks in objects. This bridge lets developers talk to the database in a way that feels natural. Once you nail down a simple metaphor like that, everything else starts to click.
All right, so once you've got your definitions down, it's time for the next phase. This is where the magic really starts to happen. We're going to connect the dots. We're moving from just knowing what things are to understanding how they all work together. It's all about seeing the trade-offs and learning how to make smart choices.
So let's compare two ideas that sound almost the same but are actually worlds apart. Security by design versus privacy by design. Security is all about protecting the system. It's building a fortress to keep the bad guys out. Privacy, on the other hand, is about protecting the user's data inside that fortress. You get it? A system can be perfectly secure, totally unhackable, but still be designed to violate your privacy. Understanding that difference is absolutely crucial.
And this is where that kind of thinking gets super practical. Let's say you're launching a new system. You've got choices, and they have real-world consequences. A direct cutover? That's fast and simple. You just flip a switch. But if it fails, boom, you're offline. Very high risk. The opposite is parallel adoption. You run both systems at once. It's super safe, but also crazy expensive. When you see it laid out like this, you're not just memorizing methods. You're learning how to think strategically. Even a really complex process, like the SSL/TLS handshake, becomes way clearer when you just break it down into steps. Let's think of it as a secret dance. Step 1, your browser, the client, says hello. Step 2, the server says hello back and shows its ID card, its certificate. Step 3, your browser checks that ID to make sure it's legit. Step 4, your browser creates a secret key for just this one conversation and sends it securely to the server. And finally, step 5, now they both share the secret and all their communication from here on out is encrypted. It's just a 5-step dance to a secure connection. Now, all these abstract concepts don't mean much until we see them in action. So let's look at a real piece of code, a SQL query. At first, it might just look like a bunch of commands, but each word here is a specific, direct instruction to the database. And here's the translation. Select tells the database what you want to see, in this case, the username and rating. From tells it where to look, in the customer's table. Where is the filter? Don't give me everyone, only the customers with a rating of exactly 70. And finally, order by just sorts the list. When you break it down, it's not scary code anymore. It's just a simple set of instructions. Okay, so we've defined our terms,
We've connected the concepts. But how in the world do we make all of this actually stick? Well, this next part, this is the secret sauce. This is the technique that separates just passively reading something from truly actively learning it.
So your study guide has a quiz with questions just like this one. Now, when you see this, I know what your first instinct is. You want to flip back a few pages, check your notes, right? I need you to resist that urge. I'm serious. Stop. Close your eyes if you need to. Just try to answer that question using only what's in your head. What was the goal? What was that dance we talked about? Try to pull that information out of your memory, even if it's hard.
Because that struggle, that feeling of effort, that's not a sign that you're failing. That is learning. That's your brain physically forging the connections, making them stronger. It's like doing a bicep curl for your memory. Answering the question from your own head before you check the answer key is the single most effective study habit you can possibly build. So, you see, you are never just looking at a boring pile of notes. You've been holding a roadmap the whole time. The questions are your destinations. The text is the terrain you have to cross. The glossary is your compass. And the quiz? That's how you check to make sure you're on the right path. You have everything you need.
And you know, the best part is, this whole framework doesn't just work for system design. It works for any complex subject you want to tackle. You've just unlocked a much more powerful way to learn. So the only question left is, now that you have the roadmap, what are you going to go master next?